welcome to the American Dream Connection, our little show about real estate and all things real estate related. We're glad you're here. Come on in. We're covering some subjects today that are sort of on recent events and stuff. So let's get started and get into it.
I could talk about the fire still in blue in the face, and it's really sad what's going on up
Very
there.
sad, yeah.
Northern California, here in Southern California, and it's close to home because you have a lot of people that are there. And we're always talking about evacuation and other things like that. But these homes, there's 170, 175 burned right now here in this local fire here in Southern California, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, now these houses have to be demoed. Even the fires from last year in Ventura, none of those have started to sell the lots, or they've sold some of the lots, but it's the demo and all that stuff, and nobody has started to rebuild. So this is a 3-year loss for a lot of these people. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, and a lot of these homes were built, as urban sprawl goes out, we're building in a lot of these places that historically are fire corridors, so it's going to keep happening. So it's really good to make sure that you have good structure, clearance and things like that. We're actually going to be attaching to this video some preps for evacuating. Hopefully it never happens to you, but it's good to have. Share it with somebody that may be affected. It's great to always have on hand, because trust me, you hear the people that were interviewed, and a lot of them said, you think you know what to do, and then it happens, and it's just your mind doesn't know what to think about. So.
Oh, God, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, or even you think you know what to do after your house burns, and like we were just talking about, I didn't even think about it, but yeah, I mean, the pipes burn, and you have to break up the foundation, and you literally have to start from scratch. You have to do the soil testing. I mean, it's a big and cumbersome task to rebuild a house. It's not just start throwing up walls and stuff again and call it a day.
Contractors are smiling because they get to increase their prices by 20% up in those areas.
And their turn times, they can take as long as they want, because who else is going to do it?
It's going to take a while to get these guys, and they're all going to have to find rentals. So there's 175 rentals or something.
Of various sizes.
Yeah, of bigger houses on a lot of them and stuff like that. So, and I can't imagine having the house next door burned down. Now you've got contractors coming out by your house every single day for the next 3 years.
It's going to happen.
It's going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. So, home products. Let's talk about that kind of stuff. Change the subject.
One just recently that's came up a few times is I've had a few investors call me for what they thought they needed was a private money loan. Investors, duplex, triplex, fourplex, multi-unit, whatever you want to call it, and they completely assumed that they needed a private money loan. They were self-employed, they don't want to show any income, maybe their credit's good, maybe it's not. And this product that we have, basically it's a debt service loan. So it's if the property debt services itself, meaning the mortgage payment is covered by the rent. So principal, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA, if any, is covered by the rent. And then we can lend on that. No income. We need assets if it's a purchase to cover the down payment, closing costs, and 6 months worth of reserves.
Yeah.
All the way down to a 600 FICO score, which I was frankly a little surprised on. But it saved people, a few of our clients, thousands of dollars in either upfront cost and or interest rates, because we're able to put them in this product versus a private money loan.
Yeah, and you're paying half the fees basically on this product versus a private money loan. So it's great that way. And your interest rate is anywhere from 2 to 4% less, depending on where your credit score is. So it's a great product. There's a lot of great products out there for people. No, you can't do this with 5% down. You're typically going to need 20 or 25% down to even get a property to debt service. Interesting one I had the other day, Jason, we didn't even talk about this before the show, but I had a client call me the other day. He's like, I want to buy an FHA 4 unit, or I want to buy a 4 unit with 3.5% down. And that again is a property that needs the debt service for you to get FHA financing on a 3 and 4 unit property. A lot of people think, you know what, I can just go ahead and do that, count the rental income, use that as part of my income. But on a 2 or a 1 unit property, it does work that way. You can buy a 2 unit property with FHA financing with 3.5% down, which is fantastic.
Correct.
And yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a 3 or 4, you might be 10 or 15% down, depending on where you're at.
Yes, and I've had that happen, I think, twice last year, where the client came to me and was like, hey, I thought, my lender told me they were going to qualify, but I forget the exact term from FHA, but there's an exact calculation you have to look into when you do the 3 to 4 units. And a lot of lenders, if you're not familiar with it, or you haven't been bit before by it or something, you just don't know. And it's like, hey, I'm trying to buy the $700,000 fourplex, and the lender's saying I don't qualify, but debt to income ratio, everything can work out. But if the rental income on those other 3 units isn't covering a percentage of the payment, then it just doesn't work.
Exactly. So there's a lot of funky things, and I'll tell you, we get a lot of clients that come to us. They're like, we're going to do this, and the client I talked to the other day is like, well, if you can't do it, I'll find someone who does. And I'm like, go for it. But there's no one out there. What's going to happen? He's going to get it in escrow, and 21 days into escrow, they're going to say, release your contingencies. He's going to be like, but I don't have loan approval, and I'm still looking for my lender because the first lender said yes. So be careful out there with who you're going with. Get a good referral. Find a good lender, whether it's us or somebody else at our company, Augusta Financial. No, I'm just kidding. But it's always good to have a good referral source, and the internet is probably the devil when it comes to loans.
Yeah, and then we had the agent at our meeting earlier today that was, walked up to us,
Tom was super happy,
thanking both of us. Thank you for saving the day. Bank statement loan, another bank or lender couldn't do, came over, we saved the day, did a few things on top of using the bank statement program, and closed in 2 weeks, I think?
Yeah,
14,
2 weeks,
15 days, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That guy probably thanked us 3 times each.
We
earlier
hear
this
that a
morning.
lot, though. We get the people that come up
Do
and
you see his
say.
lipstick on my cheek still?
Yeah.
So, it was crazy.
But
No.
we do get that
No,
a
we
lot, where
do,
people
and
say thank you so much for saving it. It would just be easier to get it started. But
It's like my wife always
first
said.
time next time.
My wife's always said, "Hey, you're a great second choice. The first guy wouldn't marry me, so I married you."
oh, geez.
So
There you go.
She's not watching, I hope.
yeah, she'll see it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, you know what? So we've got some great programs, you guys. It's about accountability too, because if you're going to the internet or you're going someplace like this, they don't care if they see you once. They don't care if you ever come back. They don't care if they do a good job, and they may not even deliver on what they promised. The business here that you guys have both built in your practices is that you got to do a good job, because we're really looking for that referral business and that return business. So
From the clients and the real estate
And
agents.
the
We
referrals,
hold
yeah.
ourselves accountable to everybody in the
there is
process.
definitely an accountability issue there for that. So if you have any other questions, let us know. You can reach us at theamericandreamconnection@gmail.com. Give us a like, give us a share. We're here to help. And if there's anything that you can think of that you'd like us to talk about, let us know.
Hey, if you don't share, you don't care.
You gotta
you
show
go.
like Meena you care. All right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Again, be safe out there. Take care of yourselves and be vigilant, and we'll see you next time.